Hello there, my name's Matt and I'm from Atomic Tackle, and today I'm going to be showing you our new hook link called STIFFUN. Now this is a very stiff hook link, as the name suggests, which really does trip the carp up. It's the sort of hook link you want to use on a clear area, not suitable for weed, but if you've got some clear gravel, a bit of silt, clay or a sandy bottom, then this is definitely the hook link. As you can see, it comes off the spool like that, all coiled up. Very, very difficult to straighten. You can't straighten it by rubbing it, but all you need to do is run it through the steam on your kettle carefully. And that's what it goes like. Totally straight, totally stiff. You've only got to do that the once, you haven't got to steam it every time you want to cast out, because after you've done that, you can screw it up in a ball and then just straighten it with your hands. It's currently available in an 18-pound breaking strain, and there will be a 25-pound breaking strain out in the future. It's a coated braid, like many, but it's much stiffer than any other coated braids out there once it's steamed. The inner braid is a green and brown fleck, which blends in just about perfectly with any sort of lake bottom. Unusually for a braided hook link, you can blob the ends, which is extremely useful if you're using a D-rig with the hook link tucked back through the eye, or you can just blob the braid itself, even the uncoated end, which helps with securing knots. For the hook end, I would recommend using a knotless knot, as it does sit very well with this hook link. The swivel end, however, does require a figure-of-8 overhand loop. The reason for this, well, there are two reasons for this. Firstly, is that the stiffness will work against you and make it difficult for the hook to enter the fish's mouth. With the loop, however, you've got some flexibility, so the hook can go into the fish's mouth, and then the stiffness comes into the play, making it very difficult for the fish to eject the bait. The other reason for the using the figure-of-8 overhand loop is that with a Palomar knot or a Grinner knot, the coating does have a tendency to break. It is possible to tie these knots, but you will have to tighten them under the steam. Okay, we're now going to tie a rig up with a STIFFUN that will really trip those carp up. We'll take a little bit of the hook link off the spool, and we'll select a hook. And my preference is for a size 6 grabber for this rig, but you could use a size 8, or you could use another pattern of hook. So we've taken the hook link off the spool, and it's coiled up. Now we're not going to straighten it now, we'll straighten it once we've tied the rig. We're going to do a simple knotless knot with 6 turns. It's important with this hook link and any stiff hook link really to tighten your knots down very gently and make sure they're completely moistened. Now this rig is going to be a D-rig, so for that we're going to need a rig ring, which we pop onto the tag end. And the tag end is popped back through the eye, and snip off the excess, leaving about 7mm. So we'll just blob the end of the tag to stop that pulling back through. And then we've got at the hook end a D-rig. Now at the swivel end, we're going to be using a ring swivel. And we're going to tie that on using a figure-of-8 loop knot. so. As I said before, very important to moisten these down. And to tighten up very gently. And the best way to tighten all knots up on this hook link is to do it in the steam from the kettle. There we go. When tightening these knots, there's absolutely no need to pull them that hard. Snip off the excess, and once again we'll just blob the tag end just for a little bit of extra security. Now, as this is going to be a pop-up rig, we do need to create a hinge, so we can decide how high we want our hook bait to sit off the bottom. And on this instance, I'm going to go for about 1 inch. And just with our fingernails, just break a little bit of the coating just to provide that hinge. Now I'm going to take a little piece of lead wire, which you can get from the inside of your lead core. And just wrap it round the hook link just below the hinge. And this will give our putty something to sit on. You don't need much, just 2 or 3 turns. Nip off the excess. And we take a little piece of rig putty and wrap that around the lead core, or the lead core inner. And all it remains to do is to run the hook link through the steam to get it nice and stiff and straight. Put a baiting needle through your figure of 8 loop knot, making sure the swivel is sitting down by the knot, just to make sure you keep that loop nice and round. We'll just hold it under tension for a couple of seconds while it cools down. And there you've got a very easy to tie, stiff type rig that will really trip those carp up. Let's go and see what it looks like underwater. And there's the rig sitting on the bottom. You can see how well the colour of that hook link blends in with that clean gravel bottom. Perfect.